Everybody. TJ, your head is cut off in this one right here. Hello, everybody. Hello, Miss Patience. I haven't seen you forever. How are you? Send me a text. Let me know how you're doing. How the kids? Hi, everybody. Hello. I got my other baby. TJ, what are you trying to do? I got my handsome 12-year-old. I got some good looking kids. If I do say so myself, I don't care what anybody thinks. I think my babies are good looking, just like their mama, right, baby? I remember when TJ, good evening, Miss Patience. TJ, remember when you were much younger, and when people will tell you his mama's kid, when people tell him, "Oh, you're such a good looking boy," what did you used to say?
I know.
My kid would say, "I know." Um, where's the birthday boy? I don't think he's gonna show you. You think your brother's gonna show up and come say hello? You think he will? You think he will? Okay. You want to get? I don't think he's gonna. Hey, let's go see. Hello, Miss Giwa. I don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. So there's another adult that lives in my house now. Hi, everyone. This is the Attorney Apisola at Ebola Olale Omobabasam. Immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, it was a case stop that we can and do represent immigration clients in all states. Come on in, everyone. Come on in, say hello. I don't think he's gonna come. Is it coming?
No.
I told you. Yeah. Listen, and the law says I can't force him to do anything anymore now. He's 18. But I want to, first of all, let me say thank you to everybody. I appreciate you all for all the well wishes, birthday messages for SJ. This is not SJ. Thank you. This is TJ, the baby, his mama's baby. They were my babies. SJ's baby brother. So we appreciate you guys. We thank you. Thank you for all the prayers. We thank God. Oluwaseyi, that's my son's name. And God indeed has spoken that boy or that young man. Can call him a boy anymore into existence. If we can help your immigration case, contact our office 334-341-4475. So my baby, I'm going to let him go because you can tell he's very impatient. TJ, move a little bit closer here. So, okay, so you can. So, in celebration, yes, my big baby, in celebration of SJ's birthday, I decided that I will sponsor a deserving kid for Christmas. I'm grateful. I thank God. I told my boys Christmas list. They said they don't have a list. Fingers crossed. We'll see what surprises they come up with. But in celebration of Ash's birthday, I will sponsor a child for Christmas, and it's a joy, and it's humbling to be a blessing. So a lot of people put their right, CJ, just like I always teach them. There's nothing you have that God hasn't provided. There's nothing what you have doesn't make you better than anybody else. It's just because of grace, right? It's grace. There's just grace. It's God's grace, God's grace, God's grace. There's nothing we have that we have not been given by Jehovah. So, having said that, he's here to pick. I was going to do just one kid, but I will do two kids. Two kids. So happy birthday. Yeah, the birthday kid is not here, so we'll tell him. So I have names that TJ can. You don't say everybody's name. Well, we can just. But you're going to pick two names. Can you see my writing? So let me write it in uppercase, real quick. You may not be able to pronounce the Nigerian names. I'll help you with that one if you choose that one. Because like this one, I don't think. What's your name? Can you pronounce your name, Kino? What's your name? Oluwatoshi. Okay. So TJ's gonna pick happy birthday to my woman. I'm telling you, the child of my youth. He's gonna pick two names instead of one. And I think, I got so many. I think almost 20 something stories. I cannot do 20 something kids. I wish I could, but we're going to choose two names. And if you hear your child's name, please, please, please contact me later, so that we can set that up and what the amount will be and how you want to get that. You ready, kiddo? Okay. So drum roll. Here we go. What two names are you going to pick? What's the first name?
Roberto.
Roberta. Okay, Roberta. And I think I know whose child that is. So if Roberta's mom is on, thank you. Let her contact me. So the first pick right by TJ is Roberta. And second name. Which one? Try to pronounce it.
How are you?
You can tell it's a Nigerian name. No. Okay, so let me break it down. You see how you break down your last name? Okay, pronounce it that way. You have to pronounce. So in Nigerian names, just like your name, you have to pronounce a consonant, and you pronounce every single letter is pronounced. So, and break it down that way.
A-wo.
No, not a. Ah.
Awo.
Ah. The A is actually ah.
Awo.
Awawu. Okay.
Awawu.
So Awawu is number 2. So we have Roberta and we have Awawu. I think both of you contacted me actually personally. So we got all the names, and I didn't write all 20 something names because I could not. But the ones that were very, very okay. So Miss Oladune, yeah, let her contact me once I'm done, and I will, so we can coordinate that. And I just really pray. So for my boys and myself, to your family, I pray that somehow it helps them, that they're able to have a much more better, joyful Christmas. And remember that we're always, but for God, where would we be? So thank you, TJ. So bye, everybody. All right, get. Let's talk immigration, everybody. Please contact our office if we can help you with any of the immigration stuff. 334-341-4475. Visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. Share this video. Please subscribe to YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram as well as TikTok. So I'm going to make it short. I got a lot of work to still complete tonight. And it's still my son's birthday. So that's why I have someone who helps our firm with our posting and information that we do, but she is on break today because I didn't give her anything to post today. That's because it's all about SJ today. So, but I wanted to come on live and talk about, because I have some interviews actually coming up, and wanted to come on and talk about some tips on how you can, if I can find my, okay, here we go. On getting ready and preparing Ayodele Ajayi. It's not Ayodele Ajayi. If you're not a client and you want to talk to, I have a client about that name. No, that's not Ayodele. It's Ayodeji. Your name is very common. I don't know if, well, that's your username. If you are a current client, then obviously you can email me. I have your information. But if you're not a current client, that's what my staff would tell you. If you want to discuss your immigration case, I don't have free consultations. This is my version of free consultation. I don't have. So if that's what you were told, that's what it is. Okay, so is that, are you the, email me if you're my client? You already have my email. You have your information, my information. If that's the same person, there must have been. Yeah. What is okay? Xfinity, don't start now. There must have been. Maybe they didn't understand that you're a current client. That's. I mean, then I'll have to address that with my front desk. But if you're not a current client, then that's what you'll be told. Let's talk immigration. Tonight, we're going to talk about tips for green card interview, preparing for your green card interview. What should you know? What should you, how should you prepare? What are the kind of questions that they may ask you? Okay, you have my email. I've sent you like 200 emails. So just look through your email chain and you will find my email. I can guarantee you that. And I think you emailed me not too long ago. I think you emailed me not too long ago. But look through that. So, tips for green card interview. What should you know? How do you prepare? And then we can take questions later on. So, in my firm, if and I was, when I talk to people and they say, well, I wasn't prepared by my attorney, or the first question I always ask them is, did you pay what you pay your attorney? Does that include preparation? Because you've got to be very specific about what it is that you're retaining the attorney's services for. There's some people who tell me, no, we're fine with interview. We just do the forms. We just need you to help us with the forms and affidavits and all that. Okay, fine. So you can now come back and say, well, you didn't prep me for interview. But for the most part, I will let you know what your fee options are so that you can either decide we prep you before your interview or, otherwise. But if we're preparing a client, one of the things I try to do, 2 preparations. I do one about a week to the date, and then maybe 48 hours, 70 hours before the actual interview. If I'm going to be there in person, I try, we do something the night before, and so we are all on the same page. Now, it's very, very important to prep before you go. Don't be coming from different places as a spouse, as husband and wife, and decide you're just seeing each other the morning of. That's going to be your problem, because then you haven't had time to talk. So what is the first thing that you should do? First thing is review your forms, all the information that you have put in your forms. Review your information. If anything has changed since the time you filed your immigration papers, have that written down in a separate sheet of paper, and be ready to because when you get to your interview, they would ask you about your information. If anything has changed, if anything has been updated, did you move? All of that information. If there's something you found that was incorrect, and that's going to be your chance to be able to correct whatever it is, right? So that's that. Review your forms. Make sure your information is correct. Make sure you have written down separately what needs to be updated, so that when you get to your interview, you can tell the immigration officer, this is what we need to update in our information. This has changed. If you had a child since the time you filed your papers, obviously you want to bring in your child's birth certificate. You want to bring in the whole human being themselves. I mean, evidence, what else can you, that's a whole human being is your evidence. So that brings me to number 2. Be sure to have, let me charge my computer right here. Be sure to have your additional evidence with you. Have your additional evidence with you. Hold on one second, people. You know what this is? Oh, that's what's going on. Oh, there we go. Have your additional evidence with you. So most people file papers before they have everything, and sometimes it's because, okay, I need to get my papers in so that I can start counting the process of the work permit can start. Good. However, before you get to your interview day, be sure you have additional evidence. If it's more affidavit letters from people, more photographs, if you've taken vacation since the time you filed your application, just like I mentioned earlier on, if you've had a child or you're expecting a child, have your sonogram photos done, printed out, so you have that information already. If you've moved, if you've added your spouse's name to your utility bills, whatever additional information, additional evidence you can get between the time you submit your papers and the time you're going for your interview, be sure you have all of that. So that's number 2. Number 3, be consistent. Be consistent in your testimony. There is, you never know until you get to your interview whether or not you and your spouse will be separated. You don't know. you get to know when you get to your interview. So the way you can make sure that if you're separated, your stories mesh is to prepare before you go there. How did you meet? Where did you meet? What kind of ring did they propose to you? Was there even a proposal? If there was a proposal, who was there? What were you wearing? What furniture do you guys have in the marital residence? How many TVs do you have? What's the color of your door or the front door? What's the color of your microwave? What side of the bed do you sleep on? What side of the bed does your spouse sleep? Or what's your favorite restaurant? What is your favorite color? What's the make of their car? What is the color of the interior of their car? What insurance plan do they have if you have separate ones? There are a lot of things that they can throw at you. And if you're not prepared, then it throws you off. And once you're thrown off, you cannot really get your story right. So before you go to the interview, please understand you've got to talk to each other. You no, you can't do that. You have to know what the person wears to bed. After I'm not feeling but just know. Okay. So prepare, be consistent, avoid inconsistencies, avoid discrepancies. Those are huge no-nos. Whenever you are asked a question, be ready to clarify and make sure, because the one trait and the one expertise area that immigration officers have is they know how to confuse the heck out of you. They will confuse you till Jesus comes back. You've got to maintain, like, I cannot tell you how many times I will go to an interview and I'll have to chip in like, no, that's not what he said. This is what he said, and I'm not going to testify on behalf of my client, but if you give him a chance to, because we want to make sure that is clear on record, you're trying to confuse him. That wasn't what he said. I mean, I don't back down. I've been asked to leave an interview room one time, but I did not leave because you have a right to have your attorney there. I'm just saying that don't let them confuse you. If someone says, for instance, how did you meet? You go, we met when we were in college, right? And they ask your spouse, where did you meet? And your spouse says, where we met in church. Now, both answers appear to be different. However, both answers actually can be the same. And here's why. If you met in college, but you go to the same church. So when I was I went to University of Illinois on mini campus. Okay, when I was on mini campus, and then I lived outside campus, off campus. But I attended 2 churches. I was everywhere. 3 churches. So I attended Rema, I attended Redeemed Church, and Winners Chapel. It all depends on what side of the bed I woke up on that Sunday. But I was in college, but the churches were not on campus. However, if I'm meeting somebody in church, say I go to Redeemed Church this Sunday, I can say I met them when I was in school, because the only reason I'm in Illinois going to church is because I was in school. So you've got to be able to, because when they bring you back and say, hey, you said this, you said it, that's your chance to say, no, it's the same thing. Because we were in college, we met at church, yes, but it was when we were in school. The school is, this is the name of the school we went to. We attended church, which is off campus, but we were in school. They can't come back and tell you, no, he says, no. You've got to clarify it right there and then. If you don't, then if you get an error fee, then you have to. But it's easier to defend your case when you're already, because most of the time they record the interview. So it's easier to defend your case when you're right there than later when you don't have anything on record. Okay. And then, on that note, also present a united front. If you already know that you have a spouse who has already given you red flags, warnings, that they are going to mess up your interview. They're being a nightmare to live with. They have decided not to appear for the prep with your attorney. They decide to come late. They are angry when in being asked questions, or even if you talk to them, they're going to just lash out. Hear me loud and clear. It's best for you to ask to reschedule that interview and go back and find an attorney who's going to screen you for VAWA eligibility than to take the risk of someone who's going to make your case get denied. Loud and clear. Don't make that error. Because if you go in with someone who's already that way, what they come back with is, we don't think you provided enough sufficient evidence that your marriage is bona fide. That's the last thing you want on your plate. Enough said. Last but not least. Oh, by the way, if you have not submitted, to avoid delays, if you've not submitted your medical report and you get an interview notice, and so that basically means you're going to be going for an interview, be sure to take your medical exam, sealed medical examination with you on the day of interview, so that you don't delay your case. If you don't have it, they're going to issue an RFE, then you have to wait to send it in, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. That's another tip to know. Last but not least, the most important part: do not volunteer information. I repeat, do not volunteer information. Answer only the questions you are asked. So, okay, well, African people, as Jamaican, that will go out from other Rojo, like we would Rojo till Jesus comes back. So it's easy to get carried away. I went for an interview with someone for citizenship, and they sprung a surprise. Well, I didn't know. They sprung something on us, and I was like, oh, okay. Because they were asking me about names of people that he knew. That was a surprise to me. And the immigration officer went on and he was, I had to, like, I think I literally pinched him on his thigh. Like, be quiet. You've given the answer. There's no need for you to try to explain anything further, because you're going to dig a bigger hole for yourself. Leave it alone. Answer only the questions you are asked. Talk about being ledger, let it be. Do not volunteer additional information unless it is to clarify, just like I gave the example of we met in school, we met in church. Unless it is to clarify something that they may claim is a discrepancy. Other than that, answer only the questions you are asked during the interview. Enough said. And that's all she wrote. I hope that helps. Okay. Let us go to questions. All right, let's see. Where's my glasses? Who are you kidding? Hold on 1 second, people. My eyes, you're not looking, but they haven't told my. Okay, let's go. Teachers, see, I'll tell him you said hi. Latoya Simpson, how long is VAWA receipt notice taking, and how long is the work permit taking for VAWA also? Well, it depends on what category you filed. Okay, Latoya, I see you're on Facebook and YouTube. So it depends on what category work permit you filed. Number one, did you file a C9 category? Did you file a C31 category? C31 is not going to come into your VAWA case is approved. A C9 anywhere. So let's see. I'm looking because I have a stash. Like I'm a walking, what's it called? You see that? I love what I do. I just love that people's lives get. I mean, listen, I love what I do. I'm trying to see when this were filed. Okay, 5 of these we had to expedite. So I have. Okay, Mr. D's case was filed. June, yes. And it was approved. His case was approved last week, but I have a standing instruction in my firm. Nothing goes out to a client without me seeing Social Security, EAD. Not because I don't. I listen. I just need to know. If I don't check it myself, my OCD brain would not rest. So it was already delivered last week. Yeah. So that is what 5 months. That's the average I'm seeing. Hi, Mr. Kufri, how are you? That's the average I'm seeing in my firm. So I don't know if that helps. As far as VAR receipt notices, okay, hold on. I can give you. Try to see what it is before I open it. Let me just open it down there. I know there's a, yeah, okay. So this is I-360. We filed this on this was filed on October 25th, 2022. That's the receipt date. Notice date is November 11/29, 2022. Let me see. I may have another one. That gives you an idea. Okay. This was filed October 12, 2022. Notice date is November 30, 2022. That's no rhyme or reason. That's just what I'm seeing. I can only go by what I'm seeing. Okay. Divine, can working without work permit affect your VAWA case? It's hard to survive while waiting for the work permit. I can understand. Unauthorized, I'm not telling you to go work without authorization, but unauthorized employment does not make you inadmissible. It's not the VAWA petition that it affects. It's more about inadmissibility for your 45. But unauthorized employment does not affect or does not make you inadmissible for green card. Divine, you filed C9. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing. So if you want to use that estimate, that's what I'm seeing. Can immigration judge ask questions about your VAWA if we're going to adjust in front of judge after VAWA approved? They're not supposed to, but listen, keep in mind, most of these immigration judges are not attorneys. They're judges, yeah, but they're actually not, they have no legal background. Most of them are in administrative work. So, yeah. Nafisa says, what's new about immigration reform? There's a lot going on on the word in the street. I subscribe to a lot of channels. I'm a member of American Immigration Lawyers Association, so we get daily updates on different newsletters and all that. It's worth every penny being a member and the resources that it gives. But so there is something that is supposed to be in the works, like an immigration deal. I'm not going to say anything about it because I haven't given up, but I feel that I come and I'm so excited and then everything falls through. So let's just see. And if it looks like there's going to be some shaken, then I'll be back. But there's something that they're trying to come up with that has to do firstly with dreamers. We'll see. Okay. Thank you, real cat G. Is K1 or spousal better? It depends on your situation, and I would say definitely you want to speak with a lawyer. I put up a post sometime last week. One of the considerations you should make, or points or factors that you should consider whether or not to do a fiancé visa or spousal visa is, does your foreign fiancé have a child that is over the age of 18, but still under the age of 21? Why that matters is if you get married and the child is already 18 or more, even though they're less than 21, they will not benefit from that marriage, because now you did not marry that foreign fiance before that child was 18. Now, on the fiance, when it comes to fiance visa, the child actually derives from your foreign fiance, even if they're over the age of 18, but still less than 21. So let's say your fiance has a child that is 20, and you get married, they're over the age of 18. That's not going to help them. If you file a fiance visa, as long as that petition is processed and the child enters the United States before they turn 21, even if it's a day before, that child will still qualify to adjust status based on that. So it just depends. Pretty Area 25, it depends on your specific circumstances. And I would say you want to speak with a lawyer. You cannot be penny wise, pound foolish. There's no other way to say, listen, I'm Nigerian, we're very direct. There's no other way to say it, because I can't tell you how many messes I have to clean up. And then at the end of the day, when you think about it, you spend more than you should have spent in the first place. Just saying, nobody knows everything. I make errors. Listen, I'm human. But you've got to give yourself a higher winning chance by dealing with someone who at least went to school or he's trained for that specific job. Just my 2 cents. Is there a delay for interviews for cases that have been documentary qualified? Yep, I have quite a number. We're still waiting. Why did TJ leave? Because I told him to get in his relation. It's almost his bedtime anyway. Elohim and William, you guys can call him and ask him why he left. I think you guys, those are my kids' friends. So a baby's birth certificate it's part of good faith proof. If the father's name is on the birth certificate, that works. Keep in mind, however, that if there is a basis for them to doubt the marriage, then they can make you, but they may say you need to submit a DNA. So the name of a father being on the birth certificate is not 100% foolproof. Yeah, just saying, but it's very helpful. Okay, let's see. My lawyer refused to attach a C9 I-765, already submitted an I-485. Can I go ahead and do it? I would say talk to your lawyer first, but you can always submit your 765 later, as long as you attach a copy of your receipt notice. I'm a citizen. When I apply for my mom, can my sibling under 21 come with her? Derivative beneficiary? No, because immediate relatives, which parents are, do not have derivative beneficiaries. Can I marry a permanent resident and have working permit? Depends on if you are still in legal status and able to file your I-485 green card application. Kiki abroad. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for the roses too. Thank you, people. Y'all are too nice on TikTok. Can you upload more evidence in USCIS if your case was submitted online 3 weeks ago? You can, but it depends on what kind of case it is. Let's see. Lucky scene. I got 5 times for my fascia. I'm still waiting. I guess you're waiting for your approval. Okay. Repetitive. Um, if you apply for green card with asylum through adjustment status, how long should? If you apply for green, well, so you've been granted asylum status, you apply for green card. How long should you wait? USCIS.gov/processing times. Um, how long is the process of an I-130 petition taken when your spouse is in the USA? If your spouse is here, I'm not sure I understand your question, but if your spouse that you filed for, the beneficiary is here, then you would get an interview scheduled, and that depends on the field office and how long it's taking them to process that. Because usually, the I-130 will give you several centers as the option, but really, I usually go by, and that's another tip, go by the I-45 person times, because usually that's when that's what they use if you didn't file a 45 together to determine when to schedule your interview. What happens if your I-751 is not approved? If you have not been referred to immigration court, then you can refile. And let me say this. When you turn American citizen, can you apply for siblings? Yes, you can, but it's the longest category, longest wait of the categories is an F4. It's an average waiting period of 10 to 15 years. Can my mom, who is a citizen, file for my siblings who are all over 21 years? Yes, a citizen can file for any child, brothers, sisters, parents, spouse. After submitting I-751, spouse passes on, what's your advice? Then you switch over to self-petition based on the fact that good faith, but marriage terminated through death. Okay, let me go to Instagram. In your Instagram, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. My own people. Okay. Oh, birthday boy is not gonna. He's right away together. He's not gonna show up. Y'all don't understand my 18-year-old, especially now. Oh hell no. He's my he's my very introverted kid. TJ, that's our social butterfly. TJ knows no stranger. TJ will be friends. TJ is TJ. Like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. But SJ, too many people. Okay. Yeah, sure. You can't believe I have an 18. I cannot believe I have an 18-year-old too. It's like, what? Like, what the hell? But God alone be praised. God alone be praised. God alone be praised. I'm honored and privileged to call that kid my child. I am. Mr. Lajoni, please make sure you get in touch with me so we can. So that's for better and Awawu. Those two selected by TJ. Okay. Thank you. My mama's here. Love your outfit. Thank you, mama. So if you see Adetone 63, that's the woman who gave me life. We call her Mo Samuel. That's my mama. And SJ that's her first grandchild. So, and he was the only grandchild for, because now I've lost count how many, how many grandkids she's got. How many does she have? Yeah, Banky, how many grandkids, Lenny? I don't know. I don't know. My kid was the one for only one for 5 years. Then everybody just had a baby. Everybody just had babies like back to back. Like it was like literally. Yeah. So yeah. So there are a lot of rugrats all over the place now. Um, MZ Bernice, I got my VAW work EAD after 4 months of application. What or when is the likelihood of me getting my green card? What are the chances of having an interview? That's not the question I can answer. You just have to wait. If you want to have a proper evaluation of your specific case, we can set up a consultation to do that. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Gill. I appreciate you too. Thank you. Dino Pumpkin, is there any another extension after 2 years lapse for I-751 removal conditions? You can go make an InfoPass appointment to get your visa stamped. Thank you, Pell. I'm doing well. Will my Nigerian birth certificate issued by National Population Commission be acceptable for court married to my sweet wife? It should be. Hello, Epic Movement. How are you? Hello, birthday mate. Okay. All right, people. Angelica, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Yes, got to get off so that I can finish my work. And a lot of people. Do you have to send in police's fingerprint for evidence? What evidence and what kind of case? Okay. Please talk about declaration of age or birth certificate from other countries. I cannot. I can only talk about Nigeria, not because I don't represent other people in other countries. What I do is because I am Nigerian, I'm familiar with that. If I'm working on the case with another, for instance, there's some documents I already know what to look for if for my Jamaican clients, Ghanaian clients, but there are some things that I know that I don't try to understand or try to that I would seek the advice of a colleague that is from that country just to be on the safe side. So it's not like I don't know about it, but I cannot talk about something that I'm not used to, if that makes sense. To the local bill, can you get financial aid with prima facie? Generally, yes. Celia, can the prima facie help for medical needs if you have no insurance? Yes, ma'am. You're able to apply for Medicaid with your prima facie. Yes. I've got a lady and 3 kids. Yeah, and herself, 4 people and herself who just emailed me today. They were able to get their Medicaid approved. So yes. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the birthday wishes for my amazing young adult. So I would see you guys on today's Tuesday, right? Thursday. I'm supposed to have an interview, but I have a criminal trial on Thursday. I have court tomorrow, criminal trial on Thursday. It's story of my life. I know. I'm everywhere.